All right, let's drag in Seiya and let's keep this going. We got 3 more total, including Seiya. Hello. Oh, hello.
Hello.
Yo, what's up? How are you?
What's going on? I'm good. I am very good.
Nice.
How are you?
I am doing okay. I'm getting like really hot, like in this long sleeve. I should not have worn a long sleeve, so I'm gonna take some water. But otherwise, I'm doing pretty good. So hello. Is it Seiya or?
Yo, you know what? I'm gonna props because you're probably one of the only people in the world. No, that's probably a handful. Maybe I say 3 people who have got my name right the first time. So
Really?
claps for you.
I feel like that was pretty obvious. Seiya? No? It's like
No. Trust me. I've had like Sue.
Sue?
I've had
Wait, real quick. Everybody say hello to Seiya, and there you are. There you're on screen. Perfect. Resize it in.
Hey, welcome everyone.
Wait, so you got what other names?
Oh, so other
Seiya.
butchers of my name is Sue. I've had Sir. I've had yeah. I can't remember what else I've had. I've had Say It because of my Discord name is. But yeah. I've had like all sorts of weird butchers of my name, which I get. But you know,
I told you
good.
guys, I don't cap here, yo. No cap. I always get the names right, 100% of the time. It's your boy Domo just doing his job. Also, Naruto, it's okay. Thanks for looking into it, anyways, Naruto. But yeah, so Seiya, what's up?
not much. I was just talking to the boys and the producers, the boys. About how they were like, "Oh, are you nervous?" and this like that, and I'm like, do you know what? I'm actually not nervous. And I was just telling them a little bit about like why I'm not nervous. But it's because I do a lot of like public speaking in real life. So
oh, nice.
This sort of stuff I've done in my IRL version. But there you go.
Is it
yeah.
Like only if you're comfortable talking about it, but like what exactly is it like you're teaching or something, or you doing the coaching?
Okay. Well,
if you're comfortable.
It's a known fact across a lot of my viewers is that I spent a lot of time in the video games industry. So I did a lot of like the panels and presentations. So if you think of like if you've ever watched E3 where somebody stands on a stage and starts talking about a video game and plays for it at the same time, like I did a lot of that.
Oh God, this is show like this is slight work for you. Then are you kidding me?
Yeah, I mean I've had audiences in like the thousands for live. Yeah. That was crazy. But the first ever time I got in front of the public, it was like I think about 350 odd people. And it was literally the first time I've ever done public speaking. And I had like a mic strapped to my face. And I was at this launch for this brand new console, like the midnight launch. And I was on there playing for a game. And I had a 20-minute segment and I kept dying throughout that segment. And it was so painful. But I just planned it. Like it was like, oh, yeah, this is the all part of the game mechanics. This is what we do here. But yeah, that was scary. Kind of, you know, get thrown into the thick of it, really.
Yeah.
And when you sometimes, I mean, it depends on people, but sometimes when you get thrown into the deep end, it sort of awakens something within you where you just start flowing, you know?
Yeah, I mean, our first guest today, he was talking about how he was doing stand-up comedy, and his first audience was like in front of like 500 people doing stand-up, and he completely bombed. And so his thing was like, he had like experienced the worst of it, so now it was like only upwards from there. And I was like, wow, that's a really great mentality to have. So that's super cool. Do you have any? I mean, I've always wanted to do public speaking, but I get really nervous in front of like a large crowd. Do you have any do you have any tips on that?
Oh, for sure. Because my current IRL job, I guess, I have a team of trainers that I teach how to do public speaking and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
And sometimes I deliver like training. So I do a lot of like coaching and mentoring, which came from when I used to be an Overwatch coach, but we can talk about that later. So yeah, there's a couple of things. If you're speaking face to face, if you're doing a live, it's so much harder than doing it virtual. So if you're doing like virtual stuff now, it's super easy because you have the safety of the computer. But if you're doing it live, the key things I always say is like pauses. People don't notice pauses. So if you ever get stuck, a pause for maybe like 1 or 2 seconds might seem like 20 seconds to you, but to the audience, they won't even notice it.
Right.
Plus, pauses are really good for getting the message across. So for key parts of your speech, always have a long pause for people to think about and take in and understand. And then I use a whole thing for live presentations, which is positioning. And you'll notice if you watch like some of like Steve Jobs presentations, and even if you look at some of the people who do TED Talks and stuff like that now, they will pick a point on the stage where they will deliver their key message. And so every time they walk over to that part of the stage, or if it's sitting down on a chair to deliver a key message, it's ingrained in you unconsciously to listen in to whenever they do that same action, because you know it's going to be another key message.
Like when they walk over that particular spot of the stage?
Yeah. Or when they just stop on that stage. It's psychology. It's really, it's really cool.
Super interesting, actually. Wow. There's like so much. I wonder how much of that can be applied into like a stream setting. Probably it's more difficult because like in terms of VTubing, you're not really showing or expressing much physically because you have the model to represent you, right? Yeah.
So it's more, with VTubing, it's more focused on pitch, pacing, and pronunciations and stuff like that. I find that, especially with public speaking, it's really weird. So depending on my audience, I'll have to change my accent. So if I'm speaking to a mostly UK accent, which is where I'm from, I can speak like full British. But I tend to go Harry Potter version of British. So I pronounce all my T's, like everything is pronounced properly, and at a good pace, which is what I'm doing now. But whenever I'm like presenting or whenever I'm streaming, I use my really messed up American British stuff. Or Brit American, I don't know what to call it. It says certain words that sound better or are understood clearer if they are said in an American accent or have that American twang.
Damn, that is super cool. You even like switch modes. That is so awesome. Also, I'm so sorry because I'm like prying into that a lot, so I apologize. But it's just really interesting. Yeah. Okay. So I guess. Yeah. Okay. That's true, Alessa. Yeah. You could have like a specific emote for like some serious like stuff kind of thing. I mean, it's like naturally we do that already, so that's pretty cool. Okay. So sorry. Let's talk about you for a bit. VTuber Seiya. What am I looking at? Because there's a lot going on.
All right. So when I created my whole VTuber everything, I thought I have something. It's a personal thing, really. I find it very endearing to see really lame art. So I made my entire background in Paint, and this is actually one of my backgrounds for my overlays for my stream. It's all done in Paint. Yeah. But it's essentially the backdrop of some of the iconic buildings in the UK or in London, which is where I'm from. So from the left side to the right, we've got the Shard, we've got the Gherkin. I don't even really know what it's called. People call it the dildo, but whatever. We've got St. Paul's Cathedral, London Bridge, Big Ben, and of course the London Eye. So that's that. And then my live 2D, as you can see, is it's actually full body. So let me just zoom out a little bit. So we got full body here.
Techwear.
Yeah. I'm big into Magitech. I love Magitech. The thing that people say that's iconic about me is my candy floss hair, and then if we come down, everything is like the techwear. I love it.
Oh, sorry, I muted myself for a second, but yeah, super fucking cool. That is awesome. Yeah, I'm a huge techwear whore. Like, there's no other way to put it. Like, I'm just such a fucking whore for techwear designs. So this is awesome. And it like kind of glows up. Like you said, Magitech?
Yeah, like Magitech. So like this magical tech. If we think about, I don't know if you've seen the anime Fire Force.
Yes, I have. Yeah.
So like, you know how Maki Ose has like her magical fists, gloves, whatever they are. I like stuff like that. It's really cool.
Yeah.
The whole lore behind me is that I got isekai'd over to this universe and I can't really get back. But I like the device that I used to isekai myself over here. I've managed to tweak it a little bit, and I actually have a second model, which is more Magitech. There we go. It's my chibi version, where I am. I am the prince fighting on the front line, bringing justice to the empire by defeating evil with my rockets
Man's
of
about
Magitech.
To drop some bombs on you. Watch out, yo. Careful with your words. That's pretty cool. Yeah. That's awesome.
That's a little bit about I guess me in my lore and my models.
Yeah, very, very cool. And you mind like zooming in some of like the features too? I love the jacket.
Yeah, sure.
I love the
So let's zoom into the jacket here. We've got like a little crop. It's based on when I originally tried to design the concept with my designer. We talked a little bit about like K-pop street style meets tech wear. So that's where it's all kind of inspired from. But I wanted a clean look, almost like a scientific look or being in a lab. So that's why we've gone with the white design. We've got the Magitech on the gloves here as well. And as we go down, I love me some belts. She added in undocking in progress. What's undocking? I don't know. That's for another time. Maybe hit me up on the DMs and we'll see what undocks with consent, of course.
With consent.
And then as we go down, of course, I'm big into my shoes. I love trainers or sneakers or whatever you want to call them. So this is like inspired by Shadow, so Sonic and Shadow, like their kind of Shadow sneakers.
Yeah.
Were inspired with them. Yeah.
Very cool. I love it. There's a lot of like love and thought that went into design, so I think that's that's dope. And okay, so real quick, you mentioned you breezed it over. You said you did like Overwatch coaching.
Yeah. So I was a player first. I competed in a lot of tournaments, won a couple, won a fair bit of money, and this was all like doing a full-time job as well. And then so afterwards, I just decided like I'm done competing, and so I started coaching, and I coach a lot of like the grassroots teams. So I've coached about 4 different teams, 3 of which managed to win their tournament, which I'm really proud of. But this like grassroots is like entry level, so it's before they get to sort of like amateur and stuff like that. We're talking low elo, so anything between if you're aware of Overwatch, the ranks start at bronze and they go all the way up to
I'm fully aware. Yeah.
Sweet. So at the elo is basically anything between bronze and diamond is that group. So they're early starters trying to learn how to get the game or get better at the game or in that above average slot.
Yeah.
I coached a lot of them, and then it's really funny. I was just talking to producers about it because they were asking me pretty much the same question. I feel like this is the second time I'm going for an interview.
Yeah.
They were basically, when I first became a VTuber, I got offered an esports contract as a content creator / competitor, but as I do like a full-time job, I didn't want to compete, and this was for not even for Overwatch, it's for Call of Duty.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and so I had to turn it down, but I wanted to see if they would take me on anyway as a creator, just a creator contract, but unfortunately, because they were looking for people to compete as well, I couldn't take it on. But
right.
Yeah, now I just kind of play for funsies. I just don't play. I still play competitive, and I will still like coach and I'll VOD. I literally had one of my VTuber friends message me this morning, actually, just saying like, "Can you coach me for Overwatch?" Blah blah blah. But there's a couple of games that I'm really bad at. So there's some things you can take between games, like fundamentals, your muscle memory and your aim you can take between games, right? But there's a lot of things you can't take. So I tried to get into Apex because obviously that's the big game for VTubers, right?
Yeah.
And I suck. I absolutely suck. The first thing I did was try to kill someone from behind, like in Call of Duty, and I ended up punching him in the back of the head, and then he turned around and shot me in the face, and I died.
Yeah,
and then like
I think it's like 30 damage. It's not gonna kill.
Yeah. I got my ass handed to me, and then like the whole time I was just complaining about the guns and complaining how there's no guns and what are these attachments. So Apex and Valorant are like 2 games that I can't get along with, but give me about 3 months on them, like solid, maybe play 2 hours a day, and I'll get the fundamentals, I'll get the ball rolling.
Yeah, I feel like
I've been really into like Knockout City recently.
What? Sorry?
Knockout City?
Oh yeah, like Knockout City. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the dodgeball game. There's something really satisfying about like grabbing balls and throwing them in people's face. That sounds really wrong.
That sounds like a Friday evening for me. But no, I totally understand. I mean, to be fair, there are lots of like Overwatch players that have like in the pro scene that moved into like Valorant and stuff. Like I feel like the mechanics are definitely transferable. It's just the like game sense stuff, right?
Yeah. So you got if I'm going to turn the coach mode on, you got to think about things like map knowledge. The game in Valorant's a lot slower as well, and then you've got to take into account recoil, cooldowns, and so on and so forth. So, because if you compare the gunplay for Overwatch, it's a little bit more fast paced and it's a little bit more forgiving as to where you aim.
Yeah.
Like the hitboxes are much larger. Yeah. So there's some of the things, like key things that people. It's very difficult to get that transfer over. But if you've been playing like a lot of CS:GO and then moving into Valorant, that's a really easy transfer.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I mean, shout out like FaZe in COD. They're doing great. Subliners, I don't know how well they're doing anymore, but you know, oops. But yeah, I huge esports fan too. So like I'm not like I suck at the games, but it's just I love watching for like the narratives and all that. It's always like fun to follow along, you know.
Yeah, you find a lot of like coaches in esports aren't very good players as well. It's because they're better at analyzing plays and understanding things a little bit. And I guess the key thing for coaches is being able to convey what you're trying to mean and just have that right attitude in terms of speaking and motivational side of things as well. It's really important.
It's true. Yeah, it's like they say, like you never see coaches in the court, right? And that's for a reason. Yeah. Yeah, but oh my god, you have a lot of stuff going on. I think it's super cool. I would love to dive into that more. Unfortunately, I do have another guest, and I want to give them some time too. So
good.
I'm gonna have to rotate out. But man, you're just a very interesting person in general. You have a lot going on: coaching, ex-player, public speaker, and the dope VTuber model. Of course, I wish I could go into it more, but yeah, I'll for now I'll rotate you out. But thank you so much for coming on, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. And before you go, do you have any final parting words for our chat here?
Yeah. I mean, go follow me on the socials. That's kind of above me, I guess. And also, don't let your dreams be dreams.
Facts. Don't let your dreams be dreams. You hear that, guys? All right. Seiya, there you go. Seiya, thank you so much for coming on the show. I appreciate it. And I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thanks so much for coming on, man.
Sweet. Thanks for having me. Bye.
Take it easy, yo. Cool, that was Seiya. Very rad, very cool dude. I would love to get into public speaking, but I can't like talk to crowds like of more than like 30, 50 people. Otherwise, I just fucking break down in tears. Anxiety is just crippling, but that's super fucking awesome.